Hi, I'm Devon Reyes with the Devon and Alberto team at League Real Estate. I'm by myself because Alberto hates being on camera if he doesn't need to be, and I am the listing specialist for the team. And I wanted to sit down and take some time to explain our listing process. A lot of times I will go into a home and we sit down at the table and they say, what's the plan? What are we gonna do to get this home sold? So we have a plan, we utilize a plan, and we have a process that we use for all of our listings to have as successful a sale as possible. There is that saying, success is when preparation meets opportunity. And so we look to prepare the home as much as possible and create as many opportunities as possible so we can have a successful sale. So what does that look like? What is the plan? First of all, admittedly, I am a data nerd. I dive into the numbers. I will look at pricing from several different angles. We utilize a tool called Focused First Visual Pricing, in which we will examine the comparable sales in the neighborhood or in competing neighborhoods if there are no direct comps. We will start to triangulate on a price range looking at those comparable sales. And we will pull those from a specific time frame that makes sense as it pertains to that specific neighborhood and what the market's doing right now. We'll take that price range and then compare it against the active competition at large. We're envisioning who is buying this house, what price range are they probably operating with, and what else is listed on the market that we have to compare against. What do we have to stack up against? We also look at things like showing time data, what price ranges are getting the most showings in any specific area. So we really do a deep dive into the data, and I bring that to the listing consultation. I show it to my sellers. That's step one of presenting ourselves well. Pricing is part of strategy. The next thing obviously is market prep. And we look at everything from, do we need to do a deep clean? Do we need to do some decluttering? Do we need to paint some walls? I'm never going to make a recommendation just for the sake of it. The recommendation will always come with some sort of tangible benefit. Are we removing a potential red flag for a lot of buyers? Are we all of a sudden placing ourselves in a position to be able to charge $15,000, $20,000 more? Are we placing ourselves in a position to have faster days on market? So I want a tangible benefit for anything that I recommend to my sellers. We really look at market prep recommendations that are going to be as cost effective as possible. And in my opinion, those things are paint in some cases, light fixtures in some cases, obviously a deep clean, front yard landscaping, and of course, staging. Staging is a service that we provide to our clients. We hire a professional stager. Some people freak out whenever the word staging is tossed around. They think that this snobby woman's gonna come into their home and tell them their furniture is awful, and that is not the case. Our stager is really good at shopping our clients' homes and bringing the best out of their already existing furniture and decor. She turns around this really wonderful, extensive report that goes room by room and makes it as easy as possible to follow, to say, this is how we're gonna set up the foyer, this is how we're gonna set up the dining room. And I will say that if you can follow that report as much as possible, it makes a huge difference in the performance of your home sale. And all of that market prep is leading up to probably the most important factor of your home sale outside of pricing, which is your photography and your video. Your first showing is online, and so we want to have the best images possible online, because that's not just going to live on MLS, it's going to push out to Zillow and Realtor.com. It's gonna show up on social media. It's gonna show up in our newsletters. It's gonna show up on all of your printed media, like your flyers and your postcards. The photography and the video are so important. We have a 9-year relationship with a photography company called Sharp Frame Media. We feel like they are the best in the business in all of DFW. We have established rapport with them. I can call them and say, can we make the sky a little bit prettier in the exteriors? Can we green up the grass? We forgot to move the trash can. Can you Photoshop that out for us? We have a lot of rapport, and I have so much trust in their photographers. I always show up to the photography appointment. I want to be there to make sure we do any last minute tweaks. If we need to put the trash can into the pantry, if we need to remove floor mats, maybe move the paper towel holder, I will touch your toiletries if they're still in the shower. But we do all of that because all of those small details matter when it comes to photography. Video is the next most important thing, and we have a wonderful team who does our video, Ocular Pop. They're an amazing couple, and they put together absolutely gorgeous videos that draw you in. And it is statistically shown that properties that are posted with video get way more views than just the photos. So we do that for almost all of our listings. So pricing, market prep, photos and video, that's the standard foundation for all of our listings. And from there, we get to be creative. We get to think, do we want to utilize coming soon status? Do we want to send postcards out to the neighbors for a neighbors only open house? Do we want to tie in our launch with some sort of local event that's taking place nearby that's going to bring a lot of traffic to the area? We're going to be as active on social media as possible, making sure that we spread the word far and wide on social media. Sometimes we'll look to do a combined open house with other listings in the area. We'll reach out to those listing agents and see if we want to team up and get more foot traffic to the home. What we do inside the home is we bring these beautiful property books where all of your information is in there. Your seller's disclosure, your survey, the offer instruction sheet that we put together for each property. We also put an upgrades sheet or a home amenities sheet in there, in which we will outline any little piece of value that we can find to advertise about the home. From a Nest thermostat to a brand new roof, no detail is too small to put on something like that to show possible buyers the value and the care that you have put into your home. Ultimately, during this whole process, our goal is to learn as much as we can about your home. We want to learn about you. We want to learn about your experience in the home, what you've loved about it, what you fell in love with whenever you first decided to purchase the home, and then what you discovered you loved as you lived in the home. And of course, every single little thing that you've done to improve the home since you've owned it. And that helps us envision the next buyer. It helps us picture who is going to fall in love with this home next. We want to tell that story. And we really do earnestly feel as though every single home that we encounter has a story to tell, and that's what we want to get to. So all of that puts us in a place to be prepared. A lot of times we will simply work to list on a Thursday because that creates what I feel is the best chance for momentum and convergence of interest. If you hit on a Thursday, you're going to be top of mind for weekend showings, but you're going to give enough time for people to make plans to see your home and give enough exposure to the market. And when we tie that into the open house that we do every single time that first weekend, that creates your best opportunity to have that quick traction and to potentially have multiple offers that first weekend. And so now, at this point, if we've gotten through pricing talk, market prep, photos, video, we've talked through timing, we're now live. We're on MLS. It is a really nerve-wracking time for every seller. It's very normal, but at that point, we've put our best foot forward, and that's what you can control. You cannot control anything else but what we've just talked about. From the time we list, our major focus is going to be on continuing to give you feedback, continuing to pull feedback, continuing to do our due diligence on what's happening in the market, and then also, of course, communication with all parties involved, whether it's answering your questions or answering questions from interested parties. We want to make sure that we are on top of it with communication. And that continues even after we receive an offer. We're going to make sure that a buyer is financially ready to go, that they're earnestly motivated, that we've reduced as many contingencies as possible for you whenever we're looking at offer terms. It follows through even into inspections and those negotiations, and continues through how we prepare for the appraisal appointment. So all of these things, communication, due diligence, that feedback loop, it never stops until we get to the closing table. And if it sounds like a lot of work, it's because it is. But we are more than happy to do it because we want to do it right. We truly believe that it is the ultimate honor to be selected to handle someone's home sale. We know that oftentimes this home sale is a launching pad for that next thing in your life. if it's getting out of debt, if it's retiring, if it's moving for that job opportunity across the country, if it's getting ready for that next baby, we know how important this home sale is to you. And it is our honor and our privilege to represent you. And we just want to be in service always to our clients.